Thank you. So I love these insight slots because you do get to find out about the person. But even though we can kind of talk about ourselves and stuff, I do kind of try to add some value. So for the next 10 minutes, you've got me talking about events and making the most of them. Because as I kind of alluded to in my 60 seconds, the more and more people I speak to, some love events, some love chatting, and others can get quite anxious regarding them. So I'm going to talk you through how to make the most out of events, and I break it down into the prep, i.e., beforehand, the day of the event, if you like, and the after. And so those of you that have done events with me before, I run a lot of conferences, I run a lot of expos, I do a lot of networking, coffee mornings. So this can work for very kind of informal events, or it can work for the bigger, larger events such as awards. And it will depend on how you're going as well. So you might be going just as an attendee, you might be going as a sponsor, or you might be going as an exhibitor or something like that. So kind of think about what fits with you. If anyone's got any questions, please do ask. I'm happy to just shout out, and I'll stop waffling for a minute and get them answered. So in terms of prep, then you in your business, you might have been invited to a networking event. You might have been invited to sponsor an awards, or a football game or something like that. There's loads of different things and opportunities out there. It might be that you don't even like going and exhibiting, but you sell products, and it would be really worth your business doing that. So have a look at what's around, have a look at those opportunities, speak to the organizers. That's the main thing that's going to help you with any anxiety. It's making sure you've got all the knowledge that you need. So whatever the event is, have all the info. That's a really kind of the first thing when you're prepping. It might be, we've got Isaac's charity here, and it might be that they want to do their own event, or that they've been invited to a community event. Well, they want to have all that knowledge of what they can do, what they can promote, and get that in there. So have all the knowledge. Make sure if you get an email, I know what it's like, your email box is full, read the email. You'll be surprised how many emails back I get saying, what's the hashtag? What time can we turn up? That kind of thing, when actually it's already in that email. So read your emails, know what's included, have a look at the opportunities. And again, this is for attendees, this is for exhibiting, and it's for sponsorship. So use all those opportunities available. If they invite you on to do a live interview, go and do a live interview. If there's a hashtag for the event, go and use the hashtag. It might be that you can put stuff in goodie bags, Ben's great at this. Ben's got little USB sticks that are branded, and he puts them in all our goodie bags. So there you go. It might be that, how big is the space you've got, because you don't want to take too much stuff. Similarly, you don't want to be taking absolutely nothing if you've got a big space. Is there an opportunity to speak at the event? All those different kinds of things. So the next point then is to prepare and check. Now, I might be teaching some people to suck lemons here. If you've got products like Tina, for instance, she is not going to rock up to exhibit her products and have, all the gunk around the things. They're going to be nice, they're going to be clean, because it represents her brand that way. So have a think, have a look at all your products, all your merchandise. Is it all working? Is it good quality? Is it appealing to the people that are going to be there? Does it represent your brand? Basically, by checking that stuff over, you could even put the display out at home to make sure, see what it looks like. It stops you having any last minute surprises. Oh, I thought that was a box of products, and actually it's full of paperwork. Or, we've all been there. Oh, I didn't bring my prize drawers, and now I've got no way of data capturing, all that kind of thing. So just don't worry about doing it on the day. Worry about it in advance. So there we go. The next thing to do is promote your event to your audience. Imagine if all the exhibitors, all the sponsors were all doing that. Suddenly you've got maybe 10 exhibitors all promoting it out to their audience. That's 9 different audiences that your stuff is going out to. So if you all chip in, it makes a big job much, much smaller. It also means that you can say to your audience, this is where I'm going to be. I've got a stand here today. Did you want to order anything and pick it up from here to save the postage? you know, did you want to have a one-to-one with me? Brilliant, let's meet there. Do you know what? We can stay and have a coffee after. All those different things. It's like using your time twice, if you like. So, who do you know? Use your email list, use your socials, let people know where you are. People are really nosy. They want to know what you're up to, and they want to know that you're kind of supporting an event, a local community, whatever it is. Um, think about that. Your audience do want to know, and it means you've got content going out, different content all the time. Like I said earlier, use the event hashtags to grow your audience. So if you're putting stuff out and you're using the hashtag, do remember to go in and check in advance who else is using that hashtag. Is there other exhibitors that you could get to know in advance? Is there stuff that you could put out to their audiences? All those kinds of things. It just helps you grow that audience. So on the day, then this is the bit where people often go to an event and they wake up and they think, can't be bothered. Oh, I don't want to go. Social anxiety kicks in. It's a true thing. We were saying Friday, we had about 12 people that paid for tickets to a conference and then didn't make it through the door. And I can tell you, two people have messaged me to say, sorry, family crisis. So somewhere along that line, they've either thought, no, don't want to, socially scared, petrified, whatever it is, they've got their reasons. So have a think about all the things that can help get you through the door on the day. The first thing is turning up, right? You are going to get most out of it if you turn up to the event. Set up with plenty of time, find out how early you can set up, know how long it takes you to set up. My pet peeve is people that sit behind the desk and read and then moan that they didn't get anything from the event. Like seriously, no one's going to talk to you if you're reading a book behind a stall, a stand, an exhibition. It does happen. Honestly, next time you're at an event, walk around and see how many people are sat there reading. Bonkers. Engage with your audience, talk to people, engage with the attendees. You don't have to be behind your stall. Tina and Ben did this brilliantly the other day. Every time I looked at their stall, they were off chatting to someone else. They were gone. In fact, I even turned Ben's music down when we were ready to start once because he was so busy networking, his music was going. There we
It
go.
was you.
It
I
was
did.
me and Gavin, our sound guy. He went off to do it as well. So there you go. I was pretending to be DJ Dave for a while there, Ben. Don't worry. Um, do you need someone to help you? Is it going to be a really big event? And are you going to manage on your own, or do you need to bring in some colleagues, some friends, some family, that kind of thing? You on your own might be a great an event where it's a community one. Maybe there's 50 people, maybe there's 100 people. You at something like Crufts, for instance, you're going to need 3, 4, 5 people. So have a think about how many people you need on the day. Do you need to bring a colleague? And then the next one is, how are you going to capture those attendee details? Are you going to connect with them straight on your phone via social media? Are you going to have a free prize draw where they're going to win something? Is it going to be business cards in a fishbowl? Is it going to be a prize? What is it that's going to make them hand over those details? So we had some great examples. Love Admin on Friday, they did a brilliant report book in the goodie bags about what parents want from their children's activity providers. It was conference for children's activity providers, rather than just being a boring leaflet that actually gave them info. We had Tamara, who you could win one of her places on her courses, so she got people's data that way. Lots and lots of different ways. I know Tina was doing a free prize draw. So there are lots of ways you can capture data. Is it entertaining? How are you going to get, if you're in an expo with 100 different stalls, how are you bringing people to you? Might be that you want to hire an entertainer or a magician. We had a hoop guy there that was doing hula hooping. I saw quite a few of you hula hooping, but it was brilliant, and that's how he's going to get to go into schools because people will remember that. So there are lots and lots of ways that you can get noticed. But my big thing here is, don't sit behind and read, engage with everyone. I've been to really, really quiet events where other stall holders have said, it's not worth my time being here. It's really quiet. Don't know why we've bothered. And actually, there's 40 other stands in the room. Well, there's 40 contacts straight away. And it is just that networking. And guess what? other exhibitors, might know other events, might know other people that that are interested in what you do. So it's always worth connecting. There's never such a thing as a bad event. There really isn't, because you can get so much from it. It's just that mindset. Which one are you? Are you a positive or a negative? And then afterwards, if I say the fortunes in the follow up, you're all going to virtually slap me, because it's so cliche, isn't it? But it's true. And I know from working in kind of events for 15 odd years that if you follow up between 24 hours and 48 hours later, that's the kind of the sweet spot. People are expecting it. So I ran a conference on Friday. I'll tell you now, one exhibitor has emailed me since then. One, and it was done Monday morning. And I was quite impressed. And actually, I messaged her back and said, I'm really impressed you followed up. Brilliant. She said, oh, I thought I was being a bit late. So that's the thing. It's having those conversations, the follow up, make it personal. Nobody wants, a 9 a.m. Monday copy and paste message in their inbox on their email saying, lovely to meet you at such and such event. And then you think, did I meet you? Because you've just sent it to the attendee list. Make it personal, find out who you spoke to. You'll have had conversations with them, so you'll know, you know the kids were there, or did they get covered in slime. I'm saying this because it was a children's activity event, but if you meet someone at the awards, wow, I saw that you won that award. Oh, condolences that you didn't win that award, but you were runner up. That's brilliant. Oh, we got a great photo together, here it is. That kind of thing. It just keeps that conversation going. So make sure you personalize the messages. I feel like I've waffled on a little bit now. I know that was very, very, very fast, but I wanted to give you time for a couple of questions. Um, any questions on anything to do with awards? But like I said, turn up, follow up, go, speak to people. You kind of winning. Tina's in there. She's like, yeah.
So that wasn't me, for anyone thinking I might have been that organised person emailing Stacey. It
No, it
wasn't
wasn't.
me. I sent a quick voice note on Tuesday, I think. So my question is, at an event, award, whatever it is, say you connect with somebody, and often when I connect with people, it will be we either exchange like social media or LinkedIn, or we'll exchange phone numbers. I would always prefer to have somebody's phone number.
Yeah. Because
If
it puts you in control then.
Yeah, definitely. If somebody is obviously they're quite either a big business or a very well connected person, and they might be used to having lots of people. You know how some people like use connections for like who they, I mean, I know we all use connections for who they are. Basically, action Amanda. So when I said, because we did chat for quite a while because we're at the same table, and I said, oh, it would be great to connect because we both have an interest in health. I didn't think anything more than that. And she said, oh, brilliant. Here's my Instagram. And she said, and pop me an email. And that made me go like, an email? Oh my gosh. And it did. It put me into that like panicked of what the hell do I do with a bloody email? Do you just chat in an email the same as you would? I've
It's really
different.
hard, isn't it?
And I
And
understand
email
she's
is not
very,
your yeah, email
no,
is clearly not your way of
no,
working. And
no.
I'll be really honest, most of my stuff is like I'm quite instant, so messenger and
Yeah.
things like that, but I also understand that people don't like messenger. So
Mm.
it is that thing of you want to be everywhere, but you don't. I promise you, if you jump into Amanda's Instagram or, Messenger or Facebook group, she's not going to mind. I would imagine it's because she's so busy and she
Yeah.
gets so much stuff that actually, if it's there in black and white,
Yeah.
she'll read it and
Would
action
you
it.
recommend maybe sending an email and then sending a quick Instagram? Lovely to meet you. Sorry for the delay in
Yeah,
messaging
I
you.
would.
I've
I would
emailed
jump
you as
on
well. Yeah.
because we're using Amanda as an example. Amanda is very much on Instagram. She was dancing, she was up, she'd got everyone moving. Um, and there's quite a lot of videos gone out about that. I would find one, I would comment, I would tag her
Yeah.
in and say, great to meet you. By the way, I've sent you an email,
Yeah.
and follow up that way,
Yeah.
because then it's alerting her on the platforms where she's active, but it's doing what she's requested.
Yes, exactly. And I think you have to be respectful of how somebody has asked you to connect, because that's obviously how
Absolutely.
they run their business or how they prefer it or whatever. I did the stupid thing, and I think in line with Stacey, what Stacey says about being prepared, I was prepared for all of those things, but I got a new phone on Thursday and switched it over Thursday night, and only half of everything switched over. So I couldn't access any of my social media or anything till Sunday because there was a problem switching. So don't do that. Don't change anything.
Don't change
Or
anything the night before. However, if you do, be Tina, because Tina was coming up to me going, just spoke to that person over there. And she knew, she's like,
well,
this
I was just
person, this is
writing
what
their
they
name
look like.
in my notes because I couldn't.
Who are they? Who are
Yeah,
they? What's their name? What's their business? So
yeah,
always don't be afraid to ask, and if, like I said, I tend to say to people now, oh, where's the best place to contact me? Go and get in my Facebook group. And I actually, they get the phone out and they find it there and then, because once they're in, they're not escaping. Ben,
PR before and after. How, at what point do you start the PR thing? I'm thinking personally for November, and then what do you do after as well?
as soon as you've booked an event, go and promote it. So, for instance, you booked on our November event the other day,
Yeah,
and straight away I went in there going, "Woo, Ben Kelly's booked a double space." I mean,
yeah,
that works for me because people are going, "Oh, she's selling at next event," but
yeah,
it works for you because suddenly there's nearly 2,000 people in a group going, "Oh, Ben was at Fridays and he's now at this," and you're being visible. I'm
yeah,
not saying you have to promote it every day until November,
yeah,
but drip feed it. So, if you've got something to talk about, ask questions. What can I offer in November? What would you like to see? What did you like most about what I was doing on Friday? What's your favorite song that you want me to play? Let's get a playlist going. All those things that aren't necessarily you promoting the event, but it's helping you prep. It's getting you visible in front of that audience. And the people that are hosting these events, whether it's a networking group, whether it's a business expo, they want to see your content because they don't want to be creating all the content. So they want to be sharing exhibitors and sponsors and things like that. This is what I say, even with award sponsorship. I'm like, look, we have our packages, as you know, but I'm like, if you want to send me a blog or you want to write a post and tag me in, do it, because then it means I can share it and I haven't got to write the thing, because I can't write a bazillion posts for 20 sponsors. It's much easier if you guys do it and then we'll push it out there. So PR all the time, basically, Ben, and afterwards follow up and use it, get the marketing assets, look for the photos. So there's a great photo of you in the middle of all the speakers and everything. Utilize that.
yeah. The one
Um,
at the end.
the one at the end where we're all kind of waving and stuff. Use that. That's your PR right there.
I love that picture because you actually orchestrated everybody coming to the front.
I might have got everybody to jump off the stage, basically at Ben.
And I love that because it made me feel included. Although I was included being at the front, everyone
But there's
comes.
your content.
Yeah,
There's your content. How is a disabled entrepreneur included, in all this kind of stuff? There's so much out there, Ben, that you can use. That's your PR. There you go.
absolutely. Thank you.
Not a problem. You know.
That was brilliant, Stacey. Can I also add, I didn't this isn't what I want to add, but I didn't come into like exhibiting until like about a week before, wasn't it? So, I got prepared, that was all fine, but I didn't really have any expectation because I didn't really know, you know. But what I would say is if you're doing any event or any kind of anything like that, either you need to know exactly what you want to get from that, or I went into it just very open-minded and just make the most of it when you get there. I think it's either being, like you say, Stacey, being unprepared and then moaning that you've not got what you wanted because you didn't actually have a plan of what you wanted or how you were going to get it.
Yeah, absolutely. You see lots of people. I mean, you can go in, don't get me wrong, we've all winged it at times, haven't we? We've all gone, oh, someone's got a space. Laura messaged me, 11 o'clock this morning and said, do you want to do this talk? And I went, yeah, okay. It would have been easy for me to say no. Was I prepared? No. At 11:45, yes, I wrote down some notes. So we've all winged it at times, but it's that, what am I going to get out of today? Well, actually, for me, I come to speak to you, like guys, about events. It's catching up with people that I haven't seen in a while. So there is an element of winging it, but it's positively winging it. I'm not coming in and going, oh well, there's only so many people on the earth, and I don't really think I've already spoke to these people. It is a balance. I would always say try and prep, obviously. But if it's a late opportunity, again, get all the information that you can, have a look, and just kind of feel the room when you get there. You
Yeah.
probably walked in and thought, oh my God, this is a bonkers industry. I'm just going to have to go with this
It was
because,
different. I'll be honest, it was different to anything I've, been in before. But actually the training was applicable to anything because business is
yeah, it was.
business. And the people were great. And I think that's the other thing. Have an open mind whenever you go into an environment. You don't have to stick within what you think your business is applicable for, because at the end of the day, people are people, and you will gain knowledge, business contacts, friends, whatever. But yeah, keep that positive open mind, whatever you're doing, I suppose.
I love Stella's comment as well. Always stand up and talk to people. Yeah, if you can be the other side of the table rather than sitting behind it, do that. Have a chat. Stella works with horses, so people are going to want to I would imagine they're going to want to feel her energy and hear about the horses, because it's not something you see at loads of business events. It's different, and so if Stella's sat behind a stand reading a book, they're just going to kind of walk past and go, oh yeah, horses. They're not going to go, what is this? Because they're not going to bounce off her energy. So,
and on the back of that, I used to do lots of events, but not horse related. And it's also quite a good idea to, or I found anyway, to decide what you wanted for the day, and whether you just wanted to go and connect with people and share information, or whether you actually wanted to sell products, if that's what you were there for, and get some money back for the day and make some. So that if you were just wanting to sell products but you didn't, then what are you doing to actually promote that? And you cannot sit behind a table and read, because I've been to so many events and I've seen people doing that. They've got their broadsheet out, and it's just like, you can't even see them, let alone anything else. At least with a book, you get to see the person, but
you get to see what they're reading and make a judgment on them. That's what it is.
It's as if they're standing in for someone, isn't it? It's like, oh, I can't be here today. Will you man
lunch break?
Will you man my market stall? Well, yeah, well, I go for lunch.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I've done lots of different events, and I years and years ago, I was working with the same company Tina was, and I used to go into most events with, right, let's data capture. It's all about the contacts. In fact, I think I was probably, the products were out, but it was a bit of a bonus if you sold some of them, because people don't go to the events necessarily to buy the product. But once you get into a conversation with them, you know that you can either get them off to a presentation, or they'll buy, once away over the phone. So that was that. I then moved to Usborne, and that was completely different. It was lots of product based stuff. It was like, you made the money back on the stalls, because it was just so ridiculous. Everybody wanted children's books in the events if you book them the right events. And then now, with kind of the networking and the network and the local kind of business stuff, for me, it's all about getting people straight into those communities and the magazine. So when people say to me, have you got a business card? I go, yeah. And I give them a magazine, and they're like, that's the biggest business card I've ever seen. Well, I don't want to give you a business card because it will just get thrown in the bottom of your bag. I'm going to give you the magazine so you can see the product. Go and give that to your CEO or whatever. So everyone will have a different way of using events. It's figuring out what you want from them, what events work for you, and then how to get the most of it and following up.